never known a love so steady. Even gold won't turn your tide. We flow together like an ocean, every low and every high. And I would have you anyway, dear, any way your heart could bear. Even if you had to leave me, I'd always be waiting here. Even when we are apart, I will keep you in my heart. And I wouldn't change a thing, even if I were the king. I've never known a brighter sunset, but every day I see it rise. I've never thought it could be better until I saw it in your eyes. Even when we are apart, I will keep you in my heart. I will hold the world at bay just to see you smile again. And when time begins to fade, I will love you just the same. And I wouldn't change a thing, even if I were the king. Time begins to fade, I will love you just the same. And I wouldn't change a thing, even if I were the king.
So now you're here again, knocking at my door. A little too late for, I'm sorry for. The lights went out cause you kept cutting the cord, and I started to fade into your gray. See, I finally opened up my eyes, and I saw me coming back to life. That I'd be better without you inside. It's time to be someone I wanna recognize. The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire you stole away, I know one day we'll come back around. The future is now. I waited for you in the passenger seat. There's only so far I can ride in your dreams. While you were chasing everything else but me, I'm starting to break out from your gray. See, I finally opened up my eyes, and I saw me coming back to life. That I'd be better without you inside. It's time to be someone I wanna recognize. The future starts right now. backing down, 'cause the future is now. The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire is stolen away. I know one day we'll come back around. The future is now. The future is now. The future is now.
Greetings, EDCOE team members, family, and friends, and welcome to the 2020 EDCOE Team Member Recognition. My name is Dr. Ed Manansala, and I'm honored to serve as the El Dorado County Superintendent of Schools. It is wonderful to be able to celebrate our EDCOE family in this innovative way. And a lot of effort went into creating this event, and we would like to acknowledge Eileen Hartley from Personnel Services for organizing and ordering all of the awards. Thank you to our communications team, Paula Sordello, Sean Frame, and Dina Gentry for the high-quality production effort. I'd like to take a moment to speak on the significance of our theme, EDCOE team members build a brighter future. During this COVID-19 pandemic, we have experienced unprecedented times and monumental challenges. Through this entire process, I've been extremely grateful and inspired by your dedication, resiliency, and compassion. EDCOE team members are working hand in hand to build a brighter future, and it's important that we take a moment to celebrate together. And at this time, I'd like to acknowledge two important entities that deeply value your work. First is our County Board of Education, which includes President Heidi Weiland, Vice President John Lane, and trustees Debbie Aiken, Rich Fisher, and Georgie Knight. Heidi, would you like to say a few words?
What a wild ride this year has been, from power outages to pandemic, from on-site and hands-on to distance learning and social distancing, from seeing our students regularly to seeing them only online, if at all, from being able to feed them to figuring out how to get them food, from taking care of everyone else to learning self-care and compassion so that we can continue to take care of everyone else. From day-to-day normal, whatever that is, to creating on the fly a new and more nimble normal. And every single day, every single one of you has stepped up and contributed to figuring this out and making sure that our students and families are getting the very best we have. And I know that some days it seems like it's never enough. But I'm here to tell you that under normal circumstances, the board is very proud of you all and the work you do. And annually we adopt resolutions that publicly acknowledge our appreciation. What we have seen you accomplish this year through a very weird series of events is nothing short of miraculous. And in April, we passed resolutions recognizing Classified School Employees Week and California Day of the Teacher, which in no way can express our true gratitude and pride. No mere words can. However, on behalf of the board, I would still like to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We have never been prouder of the work you do for all of our students and families. Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. The second group is our Personnel Commission that includes Chair Mary Richardson, Vice Chair Norm Menzie, and Member Janet Maruniak. Mary, would you please share a few words?
Welcome to our annual team recognition. I think one of the best things about working here at EDCOE is the fact that we can always count on our folks, our people out in all of our positions, be they classified or certificated, go above and beyond to support both the programs and the staff here at EDCOE, as well as all of our school districts. A great big thank you to all of you. I know the last 8-9 weeks have not been happy for any of you, and I know you have all risen to the occasion and done a great job on behalf of all of us. On behalf of the commission, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We know you've done a great job, and we know you'll continue to do the best you possibly can. Hope all of you stay well and enjoy our spring. Bye.
Thank you, Mary. We will now move on to our longevity awards. Kevin Monsma, Deputy Superintendent of Educational Services, will begin our longevity awards, and our cabinet members will present the subsequent sections. I want to personally thank them all for their steadfast leadership, courage, and compassion. Kevin, please proceed.
The El Dorado County Office of Education is very fortunate to have several individuals who have dedicated years to their craft and to this county. We now want to take a few minutes to recognize those who have given 1 decade, 10 years of service. Our 10 years of service award recipients are Beverly Baker, Brittany Brown, Jamie Frink, Patricia Gorell, Annette Gutierrez, Teresa Kuning, Nancy Coder, Annette Palcuba Dunn, Tracy Palomino, Dolly Ruiz, David Seabury, and Sarah Stowe. Thank you all for your services that you've given us. We really appreciate it. And now, Wendy Frederickson, our Executive Director of HR, will introduce our 15-year awardees.
Thank you, Kevin. Our 15 Years of Service Award recipients are Kimberly Adams, Sandra Bangs, Elizabeth Blakemore, Mary Lou Calderon, Angela Chance, Angelica Cortez, Willie June Eggert, Daisy Evangelista Juarez, Linda Fullerton, Celeste Gigliotti, Aaron Gonzalez, Eileen Hartley, Ronald Kelly, Diane Lacombe, Cheryl Whiteley, Bianca Zapata. Congratulations to you all. David Toston, our Associate Superintendent of SELPA, will now introduce our 20 Years of Service Award recipients.
Thank you, Wendy. It's my honor to recognize our teammates who provided 20 years of service to the county office. The recipients are Denise Anderson, Colleen Braunbeck, Angela Cazares, Debbie Goodearl, the one and only Kathleen Hall, David Matthews, Lori Powell, Shauna Rayleigh, Hermelinda Ramirez, and Melinda Wright. Congratulations and thank you to you all. Amy Anderson, the Executive Director of Special Services, will now introduce our teammates who provided 25 years of service.
Thank you, David. Our 25 Years of Service Award recipients are Carol Byers, Barbara DeHecker, Janet Gilmore, Peter Hull, Carmen Rodriguez, Gary Shelley, Deborah Weehee, and Joy Zakum. We will now move on to our 30 Years of Service Award recipients. This is an amazing accomplishment. Congratulations to the following individuals: Linda Adorjan, Susan Betancourt, Jeff Janoyan, Sandra Muggard. Congratulations again. David Publicover, our Executive Director of Charter Alternative Programs, will now announce our retiring team members.
Thank you, Amy. Congratulations to you all. Now we will take a minute to recognize some individuals who are embarking on another phase of their lives, retirement. They will be missed, and we are so thankful for their contributions. First, Linda Adorjan. Linda was hired in 1989 as a Professional 1 with our charter program, and after 30 years, she will be retiring as a teacher at the end of this month. Second, Denise Anderson. Denise was hired as a driver in 1999, and after 20 years, retired in December 2019. Third, Sharon Babbis. Sharon was hired in 1997 as a temporary adult assistant with extended day, and after 23 years, she will be retiring as an instructor this coming June. Fourth, Daryl Bentley. Daryl was hired as a temporary teacher for charter in 2013 and retired as a regular teacher in September 2019. Fifth, Doug Booker. Doug was hired as a teacher with our charter program in 2015 and will be retiring this coming June. Sixth, Phyllis Carlberg. Phyllis was hired as a temporary speech and language pathologist in 2004 with special services. After 16 years, she will be retiring this coming June. 7th, Kathy Daniels. Kathy was hired as a Secretary 1 with facilities in 1992 and has served in many roles in her 27 years at EDCOE. She has served as Director of Facilities since 2007 and will be retiring this June. 8th, Jill Dar. Jill was hired in 2011 as an account technician. She retired as a program assistant with special services in November 2019. 9, Barbara DeHecker. Barbara was hired as a food services substitute in 1991. After 25 years of service, she retired as a lead driver 2 with transportation in 2019. 10th, Julie Donner. Julie was hired as a temporary prep 1 in 1992 with our charter programs, and after 27 years, she will be retiring as a full-time teacher with the charter programs at the end of this month. 11th, Deborah Dunbar. Deborah was hired as a temporary classroom assistant in 1996. After 22 years, she retired as a regular teacher in child development in June 2019. 12, Frances Franchi. Fran was hired in 2013 as a Secretary 1 for Child Development and SARB. She retired as a Secretary 2 in October 2019. 13, Stephanie Gunderson. Stephanie was hired as a Business Technology Support Specialist in 1998, and after 21 years with EDCOE, she will be retiring as IT Staff Development Coordinator in July of 2020. 14, Meredith Hall. Meredith was hired in 1986 as a temporary classroom assistant with child development. She has served in several roles over the years, and after 31 years of service, she retired as a teacher in November 2019. 15, Christine Hernandez Rivera. Christine was hired as a classroom assistant in 2006 in child development, and after 12 years at EDCOE, she retired as an instructional assistant with special services in May 2019. 16, Cheryl Heskett. Cheryl began with EDCOE as an instructional leader 2 in 2006 with our charter programs, and after 13 years, she will be retiring at the end of this month. 17, Teresa Koenig. Teresa was hired as a Secretary 1 in 2010, and after 10 years with EDCOE, she retired as a program assistant with special services in February 2020. 18, Kay Kramer. Kay was hired as a teacher in special services in 2006. She will be retiring after 13 years of service this coming July. 19, Julie Martinez. Julie was hired as a paraprofessional 1 with our charter program. After 31 years with our charter program, she will be retiring as a teacher at the end of this month. 20, Eugene Myers. Eugene was hired as a driver in 2012. After 7 years with EDCOE, he retired this past February. 21, Katya Nestorenko. Katya was first hired as a substitute classroom assistant / interpreter in 2000. After 18 years with EDCOE, she will be retiring as a regular instructional assistant at the end of this month. 22, Lori Powell. Lori was hired in 2000 as a teacher with our charter program, and after 20 years of service, she will be retiring at the end of this month. 23, Sandra Provence. Sandra was hired as a driver in 2007. After 11 years with transportation, she retired in December of 2019. And finally, Amy Soik. Amy was hired as a Secretary 2 in 2014. After 5 years of special services, she retired this past January. Whew. Congratulations to you all, and we wish you well on this next phase of your lives. Back to you, Ed.
Thank you, David. Before we move on, it is with deep sense of gratitude I want to acknowledge one more retiree, our dear friend and colleague, David Publicover. David has been an integral part of the EDCOE family for the last 14 years. As the Executive Director for the Charter Alternative Programs, his work has impacted thousands of students from kindergarten through adult learners and their families. I have tremendous appreciation for his fun-loving, warm, and engaging presence and his passionate support of some of our most vulnerable students. On behalf of the entire EDCOE family, I would like to wish Dave and his wife Liz a joyful, well-deserved retirement. Now for our Excellence in Education Awards, which highlight an EDCOE team and our individuals for outstanding service. This year, for our team award, we would like to honor Child Development and Food Services. To highlight their consistent efforts and learn more about their contributions, please enjoy this video.
We provide services for children ages 0 to 5, and we provide preschool services as well as services for infants and toddlers or pregnant women. And we serve over 500 of the most vulnerable children in the county. And we provide services in center-based programs as well as home-based programs. Within our programs, we provide what's called comprehensive services. So we not only provide educational services to the children, but we provide family support services. So we provide referrals, we provide connections for the family to receive additional services. We work with the families to develop family goals. We also work on the children's health. We also work on the children's developmental delays that they may be experiencing. We run a centralized kitchen, and we have a food services supervisor as well as 3 cooks that work with her, and every day they provide meals to the 500 children that we serve, in addition to the charter school children, and they also provide a catering service alongside with the traditional services that are provided to children. And that food is not only prepared in our kitchen, but it's also delivered out to the sites every day. That is just such a remarkable team up there, and I don't think a lot of people understand all of the work that is generated out of such a small little kitchen. It's just a great team. Everybody has the attitude of we can provide services and we're going to find a way to provide services for children and families. Last year, we received some additional funding to do major renovations at 3 of our centers, and we also received some funding for an inclusive playground in which we received national recognition. We have these specialized projects that we're doing at the same time while we're trying to run programs and keep services to children and families operating. And it takes all of us, and it's just such a great team to work with. Everybody has a great attitude, and I feel like we're in a good space. I feel like we've addressed our foundational concerns that we've had, and now we're ready to take it to the next step.
What a great video of our Child Development and Food Services team. Now, for our individual Excellence in Education Awards. The Excellence in Education Award is the highest honor awarded to an EDCOE educator. An educator is a term used to identify anyone who directly or indirectly contributes to the education of a student. Teacher, bus driver, secretary, administrator, maintenance, food service. We are all educators. This year, 2 individuals will be recognized with Excellence in Education Awards. For our first award, the county's youngest students and families benefit from her dedication and services, which extend well beyond EDCOE-specific programs. She's a leader in shaping policy for high-quality early care and education, programs at the state, regional, and local levels. She's relied upon for her expertise in building a local child care consortia. She's the past chair and policy committee member of the California Child Care Coordinators Association. She's a champion for education services for our children and families and often called upon by legislative offices and the media. As a lead for the Region 3 Training and Technical Assistance Hub, she works to provide efficient and effective services to a 14-county region. In particular, she's worked with the University of Washington to develop a virtual coaching model to provide continuous improvement supports to child care staff. And in our county, she leads the El Dorado County Early Care and Education Planning Council, blending 9 funding streams to implement a local quality rating and improvement system, QRIS. And the QRIS ensures that all families have access to care that meet their needs with services including provider coaching, incentives, training, and technical assistance. In addition to her efforts in high-quality child care, she works to support our county's most vulnerable children by facilitating the El Dorado County Child Abuse Prevention Council. And the council supports family engagement strategies in our community hubs, mandated reporter training, and creating awareness of ACEs, Adverse Childhood Experiences. She's an innovator, serving as part of a team that secured almost $1 million to provide inclusive environments to 3 of our EDCOE preschool sites. And she's been known to say, "I go to work every day for our kids." And this year's first Excellence in Education Award goes to Elizabeth Blakemore, Director of Early Learning and Family Support. Congratulations, Elizabeth. Now we would like to recognize one more extraordinary individual. She came to EDCOE in July 2005, when she was first hired as a school psychologist for special services. In 2010, she was promoted to an administrator. She supported just about every type of program in special services, including our autism programs, preschool, classroom, and child development program, and preschool assessment team. Several years ago, she co-taught autism authorization credential classes that provided an essential component needed by many district-level educational specialists. Her passion for early intervention led her to spearhead EDCOE's successful transition to early intervention services that made EDCOE the only full-service early intervention program in El Dorado County. And in 2016, she started the first ever multidisciplinary preschool assessment team in El Dorado County. Her history of innovation with EDCOE continued to lead her down a path of casting new visions for El Dorado County when she helped write an approximately $1 million inclusive early education expansion grant for EDCOE. And regardless of which program she's directly supporting, at her core, the values of inclusion of all students guide her planning and decision making. This Excellence in Education Award goes to Lisa Tushin, psychologist for special services. Congratulations, Lisa. I hope all of you understand how important you are to El Dorado County's strong education system. Together, we are building a brighter future, and I thank each and every one of you. Be well with your families, and take a moment to celebrate and be grateful for what we have. Have a wonderful evening.